So, The Last of Us is back, finally. And let's just say Season 2 is not here to ease us in gently. Right off the bat, it's emotional, layered, and filled with tension that's been brewing for years. If the end of Season 1 felt like a gut punch, this episode starts off like we're already mid-dash heartbreak. Joel and Ellie, they're not okay. And that's putting it mildly. We're dropped into Jackson, Wyoming, where life has found some kind of routine, peace, structure, even therapy sessions, surprisingly enough. But don't be fooled by the calm surface. Underneath, there's a storm, and it's centered around the one thing no one wants to talk about, the lie. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Let's dive into everything that happened in The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 1. And trust me, this one hits hard.
Everything you said about the Fireflies is true.
Joel's lie. Let's rewind a bit. At the end of Season 1, Joel chose to save Ellie's life by killing an entire hospital full of fireflies. The cost? A potential cure for humanity. A vaccine that could have ended the cordyceps nightmare. But Ellie didn't know that. Not then. He told her they stopped looking for a cure, that she wasn't special, that no one needed to die for this anymore. But she was special. And people did die. A lot of them. And Joel made sure she never found out. Now, years later, we see the fallout. Ellie's not just distant, she's furious. But the thing is, she's not yelling or throwing punches. No, her anger is quieter, colder. She barely talks to Joel, barely looks at him. There's a weight between them that hasn't lifted in years. This isn't teenage angst. This is betrayal. And Joel, well, he's trying.
I saved her.
Joel in therapy. He's going to therapy. Yeah, actual therapy. With this eccentric psychologist named Gail. On the surface, she's this whiskey-drinking, offbeat type who trades sessions for homegrown weed. But don't let the vibe fool you. She's sharp. She sees Joel for who he is, a man carrying too many secrets and pretending everything's fine when it's clearly not. Their sessions are some of the most raw moments in the episode. You can tell Joel doesn't want to be there, but at the same time, it's like the only space where he can drop the tough guy act. Even if just a little. He even tries to vent about Ellie without actually saying anything real. He says she's mad because he saved her. But Gail? She's not buying that. She knows the anger goes deeper, and she pushes him, asking if he hurt Ellie. That moment's heavy. And Joel doesn't give a straight answer, just dodges. Again, thing is, Joel knows what he did, and maybe part of him thinks he was right. Maybe he still believes that saving Ellie was worth any price, but he also knows what he took from her. The choice, her agency, her chance to be the hero. And now, he's watching her slip away, piece by piece. Meanwhile, Ellie's not sitting still. She's out on patrol, training, pushing herself. She's got this rage that's been bottled up for years, and now that she's old enough, she's channeling it into combat. Problem is, she's reckless, too reckless. Everyone around her can see it. She disobeys orders, puts people at risk, doesn't seem to care what happens to her. Tommy, Joel's brother, is basically the only reason she hasn't been pulled off patrol duty altogether. He believes in her. Maybe he sees a bit of Joel in her. Maybe he just wants to give her space to figure herself out. But whatever the reason, she and her friend Dina head out anyway. Dina and Ellie. Now, let's talk about Dina for a second. Dina's the wild card here. At first, she seems like just another patrol buddy, but the second she cracks a joke and gets Ellie to laugh, really laugh, you can feel the chemistry. There's something real growing between them, and not just survival-based loyalty. Something warm, something Ellie hasn't had in a long time. That spark matters, especially for Ellie. She's convinced she's invisible, like she doesn't belong. She doesn't even think Dina could be into her, mostly because Dina's been tangled up in some messy on-again, off-again thing with a guy. But Dina's got no time for subtlety. She's bold, she flirts openly, and when they share that moment at the community celebration, it's clear Dina's into Ellie too. Too bad the mood gets ruined by Seth, the local bigot, who decides to throw a tantrum over two girls kissing. And this is where Joel steps in. He doesn't hesitate, just steps in, shuts it down, and defends Ellie without question. For a second, you see it. The dad in him, still there, still fighting for her. But Ellie doesn't even acknowledge it. Her walls are too high. Back to the patrol. Ellie and Dina go rogue, as expected. They come across a brutally mauled bear, something not even clickers usually mess with. But instead of reporting back, They press on. It's stupid, reckless, dangerous, and exactly what you'd expect from two adrenaline junkies pretending they're invincible. The new infected Ellie ends up falling through the floor of an abandoned building. And what's down there with her? Not your average infected. This one's different. Stealthy, smart. It moves like it's planning. It hides. It stalks. And then it attacks, fast and brutal. This zombie's no regular runner or clicker. It's something much worse. What Ellie faces is what the world knows as a stalker, a terrifying blend of infected speed and strategic movement. And when it comes at her, it's not just a fight for survival. It's a realization. These things are evolving, thinking, and worst of all, planning. Ellie kills it. Barely. But even afterward, there's this fear in her eyes, not for herself, but for the community. If more of those are out there, they're not ready. She returns, cuts around the bite herself just to be sure. The others may not have seen the zombie's intelligence, but Ellie knows, and now she's got another secret to carry. And secrets. They're not doing anyone any favors in Jackson. To make matters worse, the community's already on edge. A burst pipe, a careless kid dropping a sparkler. It's a small disaster, but one with terrifying consequences. Fungi love moisture. If cordyceps finds a foothold in that broken pipeline, it won't take long for infected to start spawning inside the community walls. And in the middle of all that chaos, something else is brewing, something darker. Enter Abby. We saw her in the very first scene, standing over graves, mourning the fireflies. Joel massacred. She's not just angry, she's broken. And she's been hunting Joel for 5 years. That kind of vengeance doesn't burn out. It festers deep. Who did she lose? Her father? A friend? A mentor? Whoever it was, Joel's name is carved into her rage. She doesn't want justice. She wants suffering. Slow, personal. Joel doesn't even know she exists. And that's what makes it so dangerous. He's already spread thin, trying to hold Jackson together, patch things up with Ellie, and manage the guilt that won't go away. He's distracted, vulnerable, and Abby's close. By the end of the episode, everything's on the edge. Joel's holding too much inside. Ellie's spiraling with pain she won't name. Abby's closing in with a grudge that could tear everything apart. And Jackson, the only safe haven left, might not stay safe for much longer. What this episode does so well is remind us that The Last of Us has never been about the infected. Not really. It's about people, their choices, their grief, their love, their lies. It's about what happens after the world ends, how people rebuild, how they break, and what they're willing to sacrifice to protect the ones they love. Joel sacrificed the truth. Ellie's about to find out. And Abby, she's bringing hell with her. Our nerdy thoughts. That's it for this breakdown of The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 1. What did you think of the premiere? Do you think Joel will come clean? Will Ellie forgive him? And what are your thoughts on Abby's introduction? Drop your theories and favorite moments in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more breakdowns and episode recaps, and hit the bell so you don't miss next week's deep dive. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay human out there.